What's going on? Facebook Live. This is your girl, Marki Lemons-Ryhal, social media speaker and Facebook Live host. And today I am at the Chicago Association of Realtors, and I have a special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, Facebook. My name is Lanora Tolliver.
And Lanora, tell them what you do. Lanora, you're the number one. What?
I am the education and admissions specialist for the REALTORS Real Estate School, which is a division of the Chicago Association of Realtors.
So every single day I have people, they all up in my DM. They profess they want to get a real estate license. They want this luxurious life of handling a person's biggest transaction. Yes. And normally I'll send you an email because that's not my area of expertise. Mm-hmm. So when people call you, when they email you, which we are definitely encouraging people to do, if you know you want your real estate license, I want you to give Lanora a call. Okay. Yep. She talk on the telephone. Go figure that one out. I don't talk on the phone, but she talks on the telephone. Yes. Or they can email you. What is the number one question people have about getting their real estate license?
Where do I start?
Where do they start?
Right.
And talk louder, because I want to make sure they hear all this. I don't want them to say they didn't hear nothing you said.
I don't want you to say that either. So the process is usually the first question. Most people want to know, hey, I've never done anything like this before. I have an interest, something that's been intriguing me for some time. Where do I start? And what I do is, because of my prior experience as both a real estate salesperson and as a broker, I walk them through those steps.
So how many hours does one have to invest now in order to become a licensed broker in the state of Illinois?
In the state of Illinois, the requirement is 90 hours of pre-licensing coursework plus your exam.
Plus your exam. And I heard that there are some recent changes on the exam, which I don't know is necessarily helping people out, but I'm going to say this. You got to study. Absolutely. If you want to get a real estate license.
Tunnel vision.
Baby, you got to study. Tunnel vision. You can't go out drinking this weekend. You might not be able to take that vacation. There's just some things you cannot do. So they have to take 90 hours. Is it a straight 90 hours, or is there a combination of hours?
We do have options.
Okay.
So for example, if there's a student that can commit to taking the entire 90 hours in the physical classroom, we have that option, and we have the option of taking a Saturday only class. For those of us that work Monday through Friday and want to have that flexibility, Saturdays only. We offer evening classes 3 nights per week starting at 5:30. And we also have a 2-week accelerated class, which I like to call the boot camp.
The boot camp.
Because you're in class like Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 5:30, but you're getting everything, that total 90 hours done within 2 weeks, and you go right away to complete your exam. Hopefully in under 30 days, you are licensed and actively in the field working.
So you telling me that a person could walk off the street, never sold real estate, they can come to school, attend class, get a license, be out here in the field in less than 30 days?
Yes, ma'am. That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Okay, so 90 hours, and you provide courses evenings, weekends, boot camp.
Right. Monday through Friday.
Can I do it online? What if I don't have time to come in here and mess with you?
Well, we're going to always finish up in the classroom. So the last 15 hours of the 90-hour course, you will complete in our classrooms, because the state requires that interactive course. But you can start the first 75 hours either in an online environment or a self-study for like our traditional readers.
Okay, so then the 90 hours is broken down in a 75 and a 15, and the 15 is mandated classroom time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Well, it could be webinar or classroom, but at our particular school, we only do classroom.
So you only do classroom. So when I'm thinking about this, how much money do I need in order to get a real estate license?
I like to tell students to invest for your greatness. That means don't just try to nickel and dime just the class. And then you get the class done, then what? You don't have enough to take the exam or to move on to earn your license and start working with a sponsor. So I'll give you a round figure, and it's an estimated amount because some may need a little, some may need a little more. I like to start with a round number like $2,000.
Okay.
Now that may seem like a big number to some, but I'll break it down. We're going to take out of that $2,000 the pre-licensing course. We're also going to take the monies out that you would pay to take the state and national exam.
And I have a special
And then
guest.
we're going to have the sponsoring broker in place because you get to choose. And some of you may not know about a sponsoring broker or know where to start. We can help you with that too. After that, once you get your sponsoring broker, you'll have some membership dues that are required because you have to join a real estate association, much like the Chicago Association of Realtors.
Yeah.
So when you do that, we're probably going to have some monies left over for maybe some pens, some marketing materials, calendars, something of that nature. But $2,000 should get you where you got to go.
Now, Tracy Howard, he is a
Hey,
newer
Tracy.
licensee.
Oh, I know Tracy.
He said he spent $1,300. Now, Tracy, is that $1,300 just to become a Realtor member and get started, or did that include the coursework as well? And so you just broke everything down, because what people don't understand is that in that pre-license book, there's one paragraph about the National Association of Realtors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to have MLS access, and this is not everywhere in the country, but here in Northern Illinois, you have to become a Realtor member.
Correct.
That means then you are members of the Chicago Association of Realtors, the Illinois Association of Realtors, and the National Association of Realtors. This is not a one-time fee. This is an annual renewable fee. So I'm going to tell this story because a lot of people don't know this about me. I got my real estate license and I did not take the pre-license course. It was back in 2002 when if you had just an undergrad degree or a master's degree, you could just come and sit for the exam.
Mm-hmm.
So my cousin, Chris Slaughter, attorney Chris Slaughter, was living with me at the time. So I figured I had to be the smarter of the two cousins because he's living with me. And so he said, well, you know, you can get your broker's license. I told him to give me that Green Amp book.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied. I took the exam, I passed it the first time, and I held my own license.
Okay.
The worst combination of things a person could ever do, because I didn't know nothing about selling real estate, because the book teaches you to get a real estate license. It doesn't teach you to sell real estate.
That is correct.
And let me tell you this, there's no pre-license course in this country that teaches you how to sell real estate, because it's all about licensing rules and regulations in that state. So with that being said, a few years later, I went back to become a licensed real estate pre-licensed instructor. I thought I knew everything. I was in the top 10% of realtors. You know, I did $12 million annual in sales. You couldn't tell Marki D. Lemons nothing at the time. And I didn't study. And I failed the pre-licensed instructor's exam the first time I took it, because when you get out here in these streets, it's totally different than what we learn in the classroom.
Absolutely.
But I say this to say, when I first I wasn't even a realtor. This was my first encounter. I called to show a property, and they said, yes, can I have your MLS ID number? I said, MLS ID number? Where I get one of them from? And they said, you're going to have to go down there to the association. And when I got down here, I think I spent a little bit over $1,000, because I had my MLS, my initial fee. I had all the associations prorated. And I had not put that into my budget. Right. But because I was leaving a good job, I had my 401k, and I was able to finance my business and pay for it. Okay. But sometimes when they come to the association, they are totally unaware of the fact that they need to be a Realtor member, because this is a association-based school, right? But they're proprietary schools that aren't affiliated with any Realtor association, so they never talk about being a Realtor member. But if you're going to be in residential sales, being a Realtor is basically your bread and butter. We fight for everything on your behalf. You get your MLS access through us, at least here in Northern Illinois. So what are some of the other questions? They want to know the start of the process. But if you were to think of 2 to 3 things that everybody is asking repeatedly besides the cost, what else comes to mind?
Oh, that very first question is that test hard? Absolutely. Marki just mentioned that you have to study. I can recall I went about it a different way than you when you initially got your license. I was introduced into the field myself through a friend. So I took my salesperson's training. At that time, it was 45 hours. Now it's 90 hours. And I passed on the first attempt, moved on, actually got into a real estate office and started practicing real estate, and went back and got my broker's license. But I remember when I went to get my broker's license, I failed the exam by 1 point. So instead of getting a 75%, I got a 74. I was devastated.
Oh, I would have been so hurt.
I was devastated because I thought I was free and clear because I was already practicing real estate. I knew everything I needed to know. But that was even after I had earned my first license. So most people ask me, is that test hard? It is.
Oh, the test is definitely hard. And now that they don't mandate you pass the classroom exam, right? You have to take the exam, but you don't have to pass.
In most schools, some schools may not even have you take an exam once you complete the pre-licensing course. But I'll tell you what we do differently here at the Realtors Real Estate School. We're going to have you take an exam, a final, at the end of your 75 hours and at the end of your 15 hours. Because how do you know where you're standing? How do you know if you are ready to take that type of licensing exam if you don't even know what your score is? So the goal is to earn a 75% or greater. Oftentimes I tell students, if you're testing and practicing with study aids and you're within that 80 percentile range, schedule that exam right away because you're right there. And you don't want to take a long period of time. I've had students that waited 2, 3, 4 years to take the exam. Some have passed, most have not. But this is an exam, once you finish with your class, within 2 weeks, you need to go take the exam. Because you're going to start forgetting. Can you remember what you ate 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday?
And once you get out here and people start talking to you, you clearly don't remember. So what's kind of funny is people always ask me about coming into the industry, and that's not what I'm a subject matter expert at. That's why I refer everyone to you, because I don't really deal with people trying to come into the industry. Even though I was a pre-licensed instructor for almost 10 years, I deal with the 1.3 realtor members we already have. So my focus is continuing education. Okay. And in order for me to niche myself, that's where I think my expertise lies. But this is another question I have for you. Rumor has it that the Chicago Association of Realtors has one of the highest first-time pass rates at the state level.
We do.
You do?
We do.
So that means then they can get the anxiety over and come on down here. And if somebody gonna pass, the probability is the student came out of the Realtors Real Estate School, right?
And you heard it from Marki.
I'm just saying now that's what the report, that's what the Excel spreadsheet looked like to me. So I'm just making sure. Okay. Now you said something to me earlier, and I had never put these numbers together. I am the past chairman of the Chicago Association of Realtors Education Foundation. So when people slide up close enough to me, and quite a few people can tell you, I'm going to tell you about the Chicago Association of Realtors Education Foundation, where we have a pre-licensed scholarship. We have a designation certification, right, scholarship. And then we have a higher education scholarship for those who might be getting an undergrad or master's degree from a DePaul or Roosevelt in real estate. But you just threw some numbers out at me. Did you say people could technically get a real estate license for $4?
I did.
Oh, well, break that number down for me.
And I'll tell you how that happens. So ideally speaking, let's use, for example, that you're taking one of our classroom versions of the course. If you apply for the scholarship and you submit at least 2 letters of recommendation, then it goes before a committee, and the committee decides upon who the actual recipients will be. So assume that, Marki, you've completed this scholarship, you've completed the application, you became a recipient, you were notified. Marki would then need to complete her entire pre-licensing course. So she's paying for this because the scholarship is actually reimbursable.
It reimburses you.
Okay, so she's paying for her actual class. Then she's going to move on, take the state and national exam and pass. She'll also have her sponsor and broker relationship in place, and she can either and or join the Chicago Association of Realtors. Now, by doing all of those steps, including joining CAR, your class roughly is $4 because we're going to reimburse you back $700, the foundation will.
So I'm getting a couple of questions. First of all, the scholarships are available to realtor members. So it's a form of a reimbursement. You do have to front the initial cost. But as I tell people, and there's some people right now in the Chicago Association of Realtor School that I sent over to you that already got their plans, they're going to go get their money back. But then when you join, you go to any association that is a Chicago Association of Realtors member. Let's get that part clear.
A broker, sponsoring broker.
Sponsoring broker. When they submit the application, there's a $250 discount if you came through the Realtors Real Estate School. So you need to be, if you're in the city of Chicago, right, and you want the highest pass rate and the likelihood that you could go back through the Chicago Association of Realtors Education Foundation. And then when you become a Realtor member, because you went through the Realtors Real Estate School, you could get another, you said 260, right? 260 off of the initial fee. That means your class cost you $4.
So
okay.
there, what you just mentioned was the total of this 90-hour course, if it's done all in the classroom, is $704.
Okay.
It's $579 for the first 75 hours, $125 for your remaining 15 hours. But if you, using that example, Marki is a recipient of that scholarship, and she's done all the steps, plus joined the Chicago Association of Realtors, the foundation will reimburse Marki back $700. So again, she would have only paid $4 for that class. But then when Marki joins as a member of the Chicago Association, whether she's completed the scholarship or not, because you would have taken your classes with the Realtors Real Estate School, which is, remember, a division of CAR, we would waive that $260 membership application fee.
So let me kind of go through the steps. I would come to CAR, go to school, pay exam smart, then become licensed. I would go out here and interview brokers to potentially work with. I then get the initial $260 off, and then I go back through the foundation, would normally be the steps.
So we would want the students to complete the application process and submit that application prior to them finishing their first 75 hours.
Oh, y'all take it. Okay. So let me say this. I was the chairman, I want to say 6 years ago.
Okay.
Generally, they didn't initiate the process then, they initiated it after the fact.
No, they can do it before. So
they can do it before.
Some students have never even registered for the class yet, but completed the scholarship.
Are you here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so that changed. Now I'm gonna tell you what Sarah Ware just said. Sarah Ware, I was on the foundation, and please apply. You would be surprised at how many do and don't finish, okay?
Yes.
So I want to say, I believe Sarah Ware has received scholarship money from someplace. I know I've received scholarship money. I believe that I earned the CRS through a scholarship through REAF, the Real Estate Education, it was REAF, the Real Estate Education Foundation of IAR. So is there money out there? Most definitely. And here's the joy of coming into real estate. Some of you know my story. I was born and raised in the restaurant business, had a bitter lawsuit with my family, did not feel like going back to school because I already had an advanced degree. The first year I came into real estate, I earned exactly what I put on that sheet of paper. This was 1999. I came in as a loan officer. I needed to earn $48,000. I earned $48,384. I then decided I wanted to transition from loan origination over to the sales side of the business. My first full-time year as a licensed broker, I was in the top 10% of realtors. I did $12 million in transactions. So real estate can change your life. All I wanted to do was feel like a stay-at-home mom and earn an above average income. Now, often I talk about working the fewest hours. I'm still working 60, 70 hours a week, but I get to choose where I spend those hours.
It's a lifestyle.
It is a lifestyle. I work all the freaking time. I was bunkered down working all weekend, but I got to do it from the comfort of my home, and I can take my children, or that youngest one to school, could take the oldest one when he was in grammar school and high school to school. Well, if Pastor Neil wasn't taking them to school. And so we have a couple of questions. Kimberly Alford said, don't ever leave money sitting on the table.
Please
apply. Don't. Yes, the foundation is definitely a benefit. I believe that Kimberly was on the foundation as well. Jennifer wanted to know about the scholarships. I think you might understand.
Call me, Jennifer. Call me.
Jennifer, call. Now remember, Lenora's information is above. She said she liked talking on the telephone. So you can give her a call or you can email her. If you inbox me, I'm not going to do nothing but send you right on over here to her, okay? What other questions potentially do you have? Tracy Howard, who is young. Tracy's so tender, honey. I think he about 22, 23 years old. My boo just bought him a house cash. He doing the thing. He quit his job. Everything.
I remember Tracy.
Young.
I worked.
He said get CompuCram. I mean, Tracy had an agenda, and Tracy is one of the very few people I tend not to talk on the phone. Honey, Tracy was gonna get him some Miss Marki on the telephone. Then he get you on the phone and don't want to let you go, right? And so I love me some Tracy. He is young, he is determined, and he is working on his business plan.
So Marki, let me mention this, because Tracy mentioned CompuCram. There are some things that I personally do outside of my Monday through Friday work schedule. I do like to host what are called broker information sessions. And I have one coming up. It's going to be on March 17th, which is a Saturday. It's for 2 hours. You can commit to 2 hours out of your day to learn about a career opportunity. So it would be from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Right here at the Chicago Association of Realtors. I will even feed them. I have snacks, fruit, juice, coffee, whatever it is, I bring that in. But it's an opportunity for students or prospective students to drill me, to ask the questions, to find out, maybe, you know, in this form of media, they're not able to get their question asked. But that's what I'm for. And I will provide information, which includes the process, what the state requirements, the state and national requirements are, as well as we do talk about the scholarships. We do have a relationship with Roosevelt, so we speak to that. And it's a way for students to definitely get those questions answered. Now, if they're not open to being in that type of dynamic or that type of environment, I do one-on-ones. So I would invite you into the school, even take you on a tour of the school so you can look around. I tell students, test drive the chair, because it's like your car. Think of the investment that you're making, the chair, because I want you to be comfortable. But look, I want to make sure that you know, because some students have been out of school for a long period of time. They're nervous. You have a right to be nervous, because think of that closing table. Think of that buyer or that seller that eventually you're going to represent. You mentioned that it is a major purchase or a transaction in that person's life. We need you ready.
We do need you to be ready. Wow, this is you broke it down. I thought I knew some things about the education process, but see, that's why you rely on a subject matter expert. And so, a couple of things. What's that date again for your brokers? What did you call it?
It's the broker information session. It's March 17th, 2018, right here at 430 North Michigan Avenue. If you like, I can email information. You can go to REALTORS with an S, REALTORSrealestateschool.com, and you'll check for a career in real estate. It'll say broker information session. It's free. You can register there, and you can come in for those 2 hours and we could talk about it.
What I would say, even do, if they could do a header photo and maybe an Instagram post, everybody who's served on the foundation, we could be posting that to get more bodies in these seats.
Definitely do.
And so we were only coming on. We've been talking for quite some time here. Somebody else said you could use Exam Smart.
Yes.
But if you want to handle a person's biggest transaction and you are professing that 2018 is your year, then you need to either A, be registered for class, or B, they need to come and see you on March 17th so that they can get this done by the time that the hot months roll into the city of Chicago. So there are quite a few realtors who are very active in our local association who have definitely hopped on. What I would say is we can all tell you right now, we happy like we were in 2004, 2005, 2006. Yeah. And there's some people, I haven't seen them smile in about 8 years. But when I see them now, they happy. They going to the closing table. They're investing in real estate again. So real estate is hot right now. You cannot wait for other people. And a lot of people try to rain on your parade and tell you what you can't do. That's because of their personal limitations. I can tell you, I was a single parent making a 6-figure income, left a job in pharmaceutical sales. Okay, some of y'all know I worked at Pfizer to do real estate, and it's the best decision that I ever made. Because when I was a loan officer, I wanted to make sure I had me some benefits in the company car. So I went and I got me a job at Pfizer, worked there for 2 years, 2002 and 2001, until I decided to come back in real estate full time, which is how I was able to fund my business. And it's the best decision I ever made. And I felt bad. I'm like, who leaves a job with basically 6 figures to come and do something independent? And my mama told me, Baby, if you got the job the first time, you can always go get you another job.
That's right.
Follow your dreams. And so if this is your dream, follow it. I don't care who doing what. I'm going to tell you like this in closing. I am generally the shortest, darkest, roundest person in the room with the least amount of hair. Yet I create video every single day because people don't care about how I look.
Yes.
I don't care what nobody else thinks. Okay. You have to believe in yourself. And everything about being a real estate agent, broker, managing broker, or leasing agent is about being self-employed and controlling how much money you do or do not make.
That's right.
What else you want to tell these folks other than they need to be calling you?
312-214-5513 is my phone number, 312-214-5513. Again, my name is Lanora Tolliver. My email address, I believe Marki has tagged it already, but it's ltolliver, T-O-L-L-I-V as in victory, E-R, at chicagorealtor.com. I want to piggyback on what you said, Marki. That was a phenomenal story. I remember sitting on my parents' front porch, and my stepfather, which is my dad, he told me, "Oh, you're not going to be good at that." I said, "I'll show you." And I began paying his bills. So you can do it. You can do it. And don't take no for an answer, because no means there's an opportunity for greatness. That's what it means.
Oh, yes. So go on and call or email and get your real estate license today. Thank you guys for spending your lunch with us. See you later.